Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway is.
You know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's double trouble time. That's right, it's double trouble time. I'm Jared A. Brown. I'm half of Double Trouble. And if you don't know, now you know. We interview the brightest minds in the digital marketing space. And we are doing that again today. I'm so amped, so excited to interview this very special guest. All right. She's bringing it. She brings it every single day with very, very good content. She is a great content creator who does it in such a way that is engaged. She has engagement and she does it with organic engagement. And I'm so excited to interview Claire McManus. You probably have seen her online because she is just so creative with her post, either on FB or wherever you may find her on her social media platforms. But she is so engaged, a lot of charisma, and she does it with her own personality and not with some sort of, I'm going to send you some sort of pitch in your DMs. In fact, one of the things that I admire a lot about her, all right, is exactly that. Is one of my earliest memories of Claire is that when she and I first became friends on Facebook, she did actually reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, and she didn't pitch me once. She didn't pitch me at all. And I'm like, wait a second, all these sons of pitches are coming at me like a bunch of sharks, and she's not. All right. And I found that she was very genuine when she approached me or addressed me in Messenger, and it was real. And that struck me in the very beginning, resonated with me that she's indeed a content creator that is full of sincerity. So, we're going to interview and we're going to spill the tea. All right. And we're going to talk about content creation, and we're going to interview a digital marketer who does it with authenticity. All right. So from Ireland, all right, bring it on Claire McManus. So here we go. Bear with me here while I bring her on. Give her a very, very big VIP. VIP. Welcome. What is up, Claire?
Hi. Well, I feel
Hi.
like that I've arrived. That's so
That's right.
the lights, the music, great intro.
Big time. Big time.
That was great.
All right. All right. Super, super happy to have you on the Double Trouble Show. Thank you for coming on and, accepting our invitation. So, just behind you, I'm seeing a big poster right there. Can you talk about that? It looks really, really enticing.
Well, that was a plaque that I received for hitting a milestone of 10K, a 10K month.
Wow.
So yeah, it's massive, and it's like glass and everything. It's brilliant.
Oh wow, it's even encased in glass?
Yeah.
Wow, very cool. That is very cool. So I obviously you heard backstage before I brought you on, you heard what I just said. But that is one of my fondest, or earliest memories, is that when you and I became friends, you did address me in Facebook Messenger, but it was totally natural. It's like you asked me good questions to get to know me, but not at all did you come across. It looks like yeah, sorry about that. We're playing musical chairs. But not at all did you try to, pitch me, and I found that was different than everyone else that I've seen, that's tried to address me, previous. And so, yeah, we're playing musical chairs.
I know,
Here we go.
but my ADHD's like, whoa.
Right.
But yeah, you're not the first person to say that. Everyone that's more or less everyone that I've worked with says, you never pitched me, ever.
Right.
When's she gonna pitch me? When's she
But and Jeff and I, my twin brother, and I have talked about that so many times, is that it's like if you were to go into a pub, right? If you enter a pub, when you sit your arse down, all right, you don't automatically look at the person next to you, and start approaching them about an online business. You may not even know them, and you're sitting right next to them. Or even if you do exchange, names, and you address each other and you know each other's names, it's the same as if you just become social media friends. You just became social media friends, but that doesn't give you the green light to automatically start talking about personal things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's same with, like, obviously, I was talking about this the other day. We connect with people via social media. We get to know each other through our content. And I was talking about, like, when people leave comments and say, thanks for sharing, that's awesome, and stuff, and after you've put a heartfelt post on, and it's like, and I was saying, think about how you you talk to people. Do you know if someone told you a story, you won't go, thanks,
Right.
thanks for sharing. Let's go.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. So that's and that's actually one of the great things about promoting, okay, is that when I meet digital marketers on that resonate with me, or they I see something that strikes me, so to speak, it's the ones that make me wonder what program they're actually connected with. When I have to wonder and I'm not sure, then that's when I know that they're good marketers, because those are the people that get it. Because it's really not the program you're promoting, it's about you, and many people seem to forget that. They almost they fall into that I'm promoting the product. Well, yes, yeah, that we all want to make some money. Okay, we're otherwise we wouldn't be doing what we do. Okay, as far as digital marketers, but if you're not trying to have people get to know you, they're not going to like you. They're not going to trust you, and they're not going to want to buy from you.
Exactly. Do you know, no stranger's gonna go, here, there's $1,000. Take my money.
Right. Nobody is going to buy something if all they get is pitched. For example, not that okay, as another example is I'm a big sports fan. And if I'm going to watch either football or basketball, whatever sport, and if there's a commercial in between, whether it's some sort of, you know, halftime or intermission, right?
Mhm.
And there's a commercial and I'm watching it on television, then if they automatically have somebody pitching something, they don't know what I want. But if you see something on TV, most of the advertisements, if they're good, most of them are telling a story.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Most of the good ones, they're not automatically pitching. They're not saying, are you tired of the 9 to 5? Okay, nobody is saying that. You know what I mean? Nobody is saying, are you tired of getting bad unleaded gas for your car? I mean, nobody is coming across that way. The good the good commercials are telling a story, whether it's, I don't know, let's say it's uh whether it's Ford for trucks or Chevy or whatever. In their commercial, they're telling a story to get you emotionally connected to the product.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? And so even the commercials that you watch on TV, they're not automatically trying to pitch. And so I think that, it's many people when they go into when they become a digital marketer, either they're being taught wrong or they're just watching the wrong people to learn how to do it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think because when I got started in the online space, I came from I had an offline business, so I had my own clinic. So when I came into the online space, this is what I was literally told. You find out what you message people, you ask them these questions, you find out what the problem is, and then you send them your link, and they buy it. And I was like, really? Common sense were telling me no, but this woman was like, yeah, it's dead easy. And I'm like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And I literally remember the first person that I messaged, and I could even tell you his name. I was like, so what are you struggling with? And it will further ahead than me. Like, and I'm asking him these questions. We ended up, luckily, I think it's my energy. I got away with it.
Uh-huh.
But but Yeah, literally, I was like, but when I think this is a lot as well. When I was introduced, there was no mentioning of learning high income marketing skills. That was never mentioned to me.
It was never mentioned.
No, I was just told I could earn 1K a day working 2 hours and 10K months. And this woman, she was making sales. I was like, well, she's doing it. Must be true. So I just, yeah. And I think it's the same. I think a lot of people are. I mean, when I was introduced, I saw the dollar signs, and I think everybody's the same. Like, God, you can make money. That's dead easy. And I don't think it's until you come into the space and you realize, oh, you've actually got to learn some skills.
Well, I try to be extremely patient, because there is a learning curve. There's a lot for new marketers to learn, and so by no means do I want to belittle or disparage anybody that's new. It is a lot all at once. I get it, I do, but it's. I would just hope that somewhere along the line that as they become more seasoned, so to speak, that they can kind of learn that it's not the product that you always promote, that your brand is really you and less the product, if you know what I mean. Because what happens if that product, God forbid, but let's say that product is no more, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then what do you do, right?
That's it. And it's about it is instead of it's not about my product is amazing. It's about sharing like your experience, putting you at the forefront. And this is why I use my content to talk to people. And can we swear on here? I just thought that I use my content to take the piss out of myself from when I started, and I know that people can relate to that, because we don't know what we don't know. Do you know?
Right.
Yeah, when we come in, we're like, oh my God, what I've got here is the best thing since sliced. It's the best on the market. You've not seen anything else on the market, but it's the best on the market, and we all think that.
Right. We think it's the best thing since sliced bread, of course. We do. So I guess what I'd like to ask you is how did you begin? How did this all start for you? Was it something that you saw online, or did you meet somebody in your own social circle offline? Who introduced you to, being an online marketer?
Yeah, so it was back in lockdown 2020. I first actually got into network marketing, and I'd spend a lot of time on Zoom calls selling gas, electric, and broadband. And I did really well. I won a holiday to Mexico, which I went on last.
Oh, wow, you did?
Yeah, I got the highest sales, and I literally I literally ran it through Facebook, because in Ireland we didn't that wasn't available to us, so everything was done online, and I was basically signing my friends up back in England to gas, broadband, and electric, and because you got a discount if you got all three, you see. So that's how I got started. I couldn't run my offline business, so I am an aesthetics therapist. I had my own clinic for over 10 years. And then obviously lockdown hit. I knew after having that time freedom and just not being on autopilot, stuck with my kids 24/7, I loved it. And I knew I wasn't going to open that clinic back up, and I knew it. So yes, I started in network marketing. I met a girl who was also in network marketing, but had gone to high-ticket affiliate marketing, and all of a sudden she was like posting these 1K days and 10K months, and you know, she did well. She's not in the space anymore. I think she hit burnout. But yeah, like that's how I was introduced to it.
Wow, very interesting. So it's and when you got introduced to this because of network marketing, was it an easier transition? And what was more enticing to you when you compare the two? Because there are pros and cons, of course, with network marketing and online marketing. With network marketing, obviously, there's a really good sort of residual income if you can keep a team involved, of course, and everyone's active. And online marketing, if you compare the two, what's I guess brought you over to this team, so to speak?
So what I realized was I grew really quickly in network marketing and in the business that I was networking, and I grew a team, and then everything was done through Zoom call, and each Zoom call was like an hour to an hour and a half long. And you didn't know if they were gonna like buy the gas and electric and that lot at the end. It was like, you were giving that time. But then I was having to jump on Zoom calls too while my team trained up and stuff. And I just thought, see, I wanted time freedom, and the clinic didn't give me that. Like, I'm a solo mum to twins, and I literally worked 6 days a week, and there was unsocial hours as well because it's an aesthetics clinic. So my whole point was that I wanted to be more present, but then I found that I was just stuck to the bloody laptop all the time on Zoom. Literally, I can talk, but oh my God, I even got sick of talking. Like...
all day long, yeah.
So when I was introduced to high ticket marketing, I was actually sold on the 2 hour days. The money wasn't the big. Obviously, we want to be comfortable. We need money to have that time freedom. But it were those 2 hour days. And you know what? I'm all in. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And it's so funny because everyone were pitching these 2 hour days. And I was thinking to myself, I'm shit at this because I'm not doing 2 hour days. But yeah, I would be on saying 2 hour days.
Well, let's talk about that because I do, in many posts, I will see verbiage like that, right? 2 hour work days. And I'm going to generalize because I think that it can only be 2 hour work days. But I think that it's going to vary depending upon the program and how seasoned you are. You know what I mean? And when you haven't really perfected your craft, it may require more than 2 hours a day. You know what I mean? But that is one of the things that is alluring to me as well, is that as long as you've got, let's say you post consistently and you're getting good organic traffic, and then you're starting to build a pretty good engagement with your followers, then absolutely 2 hour days, that can be very reachable and very attainable, and that is very attractive to me as well, versus being on the phone and trying to create callbacks or follow up on callbacks, so on and so forth. That's a much better sort of vision of a future, of course.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Obviously, what level you. Hiya.
Hey Jeff, your volume's up a little bit, brother.
My volume's up.
All right, I'm gonna mute him just for a second.
But yeah, it depends what level that you're at. as well, and what skills that you've built. I mean, I can work 2 or 3 hour days now if I don't include my coaching. So they are possible. But I definitely wasn't doing 2 hour days when I started. And I was,
Right.
it was so funny because I said to someone else, I was like, it's taken me ages. And she said, yeah, me too. And we found out no one would do it.
Very cool. Very cool. So, and the post that you make, I want to talk about that as well, because it's your posts aren't, again, very typical compared to what I explained before. Is that there are many posts that are very borderline, people that are just pitching or just talking about their business. And your post, you generally are talking about something that's happened in your life. You've shown photos of your garden. You've shown photos of out, your yard outside. And you're showing viewers and followers about your life. So talk to us a little bit about your content strategy and what you do differently to, talk about yourself and bring your followers to get to know you.
Yeah, so content, and some of this I learned through my clinic. Even though I didn't have a clue what content creation was when I had a clinic, I was just doing my thing. But yeah, like it's not about. I don't talk about my product. I might say, the 6-figure audience coaching calls. Like when sorry.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure, but so go on. I want to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so instead of talking about my product, and that it's awesome, it is awesome, by the way, but instead, I talk about like what the benefits have been, what I've learned, what I've failed at, what didn't work, why it didn't work. I'm opinionated, and I think it's important to know the difference between being opinionated and being a dickhead, really. Like, I always, like I say, I always take the piss out of myself and my experiences. That's okay. But in regards to, you can't, like, diss programs and name drop people and stuff. That's kind of like being a div. So talking about the benefits, like what's worked for you, what hasn't worked, what investments that you've made, what it's taken, being raw, talking about the plan. So when people look at my content, they know exactly what I do. I'm not hiding anything. Like, I'm not, keeping anything a secret. So I'm very transparent about the what it's done for me, what it's done for my clients, what you can achieve, what it takes, what the steps are. But also, I don't just, it's not all just about business. I talk about, I learned to garden. I've grew my first bloody flowers this year.
I love that.
So proud.
I love that. Yeah.
Literally, do you know when you start gardening, you walk around, you literally do see the world in colour, because I'm looking at all these gorgeous plants. I'm like, oh, take a picture of that. And honestly, life is so much more colourful. But yeah, just sharing like everything about you, because I'm not a product. You're not a product. No one's a product.
Right.
We're people, and people want to know you behind the scenes. And when you see so much content about business and pitching and things like that, if you can stop the scroll, someone scroll with something different that's, that they've not seen a million times that day, that's when you become more attractive. And it's the same in your DMs as well. Like you said, you know, what you remember of our connection is I never pitched you, and you want to leave people with a memory, and not that you was like 20 other people that day.
Exactly. You don't want to leave a negative experience with them, because that's their memory. That's their first impression sometimes, or that's what they remember. That's going to be their memory left behind from you or by you. I totally agree with that. Because we don't always remember what people say, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We remember how they make us feel. I may not remember, like when I was a kid, I don't remember exactly what my dad said for Christmas, but I remember how I felt when he gave me a present, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and we have bad memories, but we remember the feeling, don't we? How someone made us feel.
All right, so I want to talk about when you're doing the content and you're making the content. Is there a certain do you like do a batch of content all at once, or do you have a schedule that you put together? Um, it's very intriguing to me in the regards to the different people that we've interviewed, how each person either does it differently or the similarities.
Yeah. I've always done batch creation. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's just a little bit of feedback.
Oh, I'm silent. Yeah, I've always done batch creating, which is important because once you get into the flow, you've got that creativity flow. So you want to, if you can, write 2 or 3 more pieces of content, even if it's not detailed, even if it's just like a skeleton of what you want to talk about, you've got an half piece of content there. So I always say, if you can bang more out while you're batching, then do that. I have changed that actually recently. So I go with my energy and I go with my flow. So I've done that for a long time, but I've actually been changing some of my content and just my content angles and things like that. So I never used a Facebook group. So I've literally built my business with Facebook stories, Messenger, and then Reels for about a year. So I've literally just this last 5 months been concentrating on growing my group. So now I do things a bit different. I would do a really high value detailed post from a group, and then I would extract content from that. So condense it to my profile, and then condense it to like a couple of videos, and change those and change the hooks and stuff like that. So you can so changing one really good detailed long form post into multiple pieces, which I'm just starting to save all those to share with my clients, because it's just something new that I've been doing. So just batch content, brilliant, but you've got to go with your energy as well. It's all about what aligns with you, what fits with you around your commitments as well.
Interesting. Okay. So if I understand what you're saying is that when you put together something and you put it on Facebook, then you may have like a series of different posts that are kind of connected, almost like a series. And is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Because with
And
my strategies, I'm very content heavy, so I don't do mass adding of people. I don't do cold DMs. I don't do sales calls. So when you eliminate the things that you don't like doing, you need to go heavier with the things that you do. So I enjoy writing content and I enjoy making short form videos. So that's where I would go heavy.
Wow. I like that. Tell me a little bit about how that evolved from how you may have started because it sounds a lot more polished now, and it's like a rock in a river. In the beginning, that rock is really rough, but when the river is flowing, then after a while that rock gets polished, right? And it's smooth. So tell us a little bit about how that rock became polished.
Well, it was when I was 8 months into my journey, and I hit burnout with everything I was doing. I hit burnout, but what I also noticed is I lost my identity. I found it really hard to be myself. I felt like I'd lost a bit of my social skills. I felt like my energy was flat, and I didn't really know how to speak to people in DMs. And it was because I'd come from a done for you copy and paste kind of thing, which was heavy on adding people, cold DMs, sending cold messages and leading to a pitch, which is easy. It's like Jeff's background.
All right. Yeah. And that's evolved because you just found that it was a little bit better on your end when you were finding that you needed to be you.
Yeah.
And not try to be someone else.
Yeah, I felt like the strategies that I was using, there was very dehumanized, and I felt that within myself as well. Like I wasn't talking and being how I want, and the more that I did it and burnt out, the more that I lost my identity. So, and that's why I stripped everything back. So, was told to you had to get to 5,000 friends. I literally took my friends list down to 1,000, and I'm still now around 1,000, maybe 1,500. And I dived into who are my ideal clients, because I was trying to sell to everybody with a pulse. Anyone in my inbox, hey, what are you struggling with? Got a program for that.
Yeah, right.
Even if I didn't have a program, I didn't actually know what I was doing. It was oh, you've got a problem, you've got a program for that. Because I wasn't taught about learning these skills. It was you can make this money, and that's all I knew. So anyway, so I stripped everything back and just started diving into who my ideal clients were for my offers, and looking at my content, looking at what did I enjoy doing the most. I love doing video content. I love doing written content. I love chatting to people in DMs, but I did not like that awkward chat. So I changed all that, and yeah, it's mainly down to tuning into me, because what I realized, because I had a clinic before, and which was high ticket services. So my products were £1,000, 500 to £1,500, not dollars. And I was I had a lot of clientele, and I was
okay.
I thought to myself, I'm learning high income skills here, but I never had to do all of this when I had my clinic. I want people to come to me because they want my service. So I want my business to be how it was offline. And I tapped into that. And because when I had those clients coming to me, they literally had a couple of questions, but they was already sold before they were sold. They knew they was buying that aesthetics treatment. And then when it was in and they got the results, they were saying, "Oh, I saw you. I saw your facelift thing. Can I book in for that next?" And I wasn't having to sell, and I realized it was my content and how I put my content on. So when I put my content, you can see he's getting annoyed.
I know. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Sorry, Jeff. But yeah, so when I did my content for my clinic, say I did inch loss, I did skin tightening, I did facelifts. It was all non-surgical. So when instead of saying this, this fat freeze costs this and it's amazing, I did a before and after picture. Obviously, there were no face. If it were like an inch loss on the stomach, there were no face. There was a story, because when that person lays down on the table and you're treating them, they're chatting away, and the stories that people tell you and how they've actually put weight on, it's not all the pies, they're like, there's genuine stories. And I could share those stories because I wasn't tagging anyone. There were no faces. There were, just a story. So when people saw my content, they looked at that, say that stomach, and they were like, "That looks like mine." And then I want mine. And then the after picture, I want mine to look like that. And then the story as well. So the story would be relatable to people that are reading it, And that's exactly what I do with my content in my business now. Obviously, there's no before and after pictures, but you just tell the story, you document your journey.
Absolutely. I love it. Yes. I mean, because you said it very eloquently, is that you want people to know you, get to know you, and by the only way to do that is to share things along your journey. And if you're doing that well enough, then and you're solving their problems, then it's an easier transition where people come to you because they feel like they know you, they feel like they connect with you, they feel like what you're talking about either resonates with them or they can relate to it, and they know that what you're saying can help resolve their problem. So it's a much better way of doing an online marketing, is if you can do it that way versus always just trying to pitch, because that can be really off-putting, very off-putting.
It really can, and it means that when people are reading your content, if they relate to your content, if you can articulate in your content what you do, how it's helped you, how it's helped your clients. If you haven't got clients, talk about yourself, like everything that you're doing along the way. Learn it, write content about it, learn it, implement, write content about it, and take your people on a journey. Because do you know what? And this is as well, like, people, I hear all this a lot, "Oh, but no one's going to buy from me because I've not made any sales." But when we all got started, none of us made any sales. But there's so many people that will relate to you if you've not made any sales yet, but you're documenting your journey, than to someone that's made 6-7 figures. You are more relatable because you're more, they see you, they can see themselves in you.
Right. They can see themselves in you, and that's what causes that correlation, because they can see themselves in you, and when that happens, then they feel like they're not alone, and what is going on with you, they can see it in themselves as well, and vice versa. They can see it in you, and so there's a mirror sort of thing going on. And if there's a connection like that, then that's when you have not just a follower, but you've got a fan.
Yeah.
And and that's really what we want. Is we don't want just someone to click, yeah, I'm going to follow you, because it's great when you get one more follower, but I don't want just someone to become a follower. I want someone to to be a fan. We're like, okay, wow, Jared's content. Okay, I want him to be excited. Double Trouble show. They're interviewing Claire McManus, and to be super excited because of these interviews. And I want to bring inspiring stories like yours and other people. And I want them to come back to my content because of what I provide for them, not just, okay, all right, I'm going to click follow. He seems nice. I don't want that. I want a fan.
Yeah, exactly. And this is it. It's like for a while now, the viral content. My content is very antiviral. I don't, my reels might hit 1K, maybe 2K, but I'm usually like in the hundreds. My content is antiviral, and it's because it's not. I'm not talking about earn 10K months and 1K days and making unrealistic promises.
Mhm.
So, but the people that do follow me, they end up being like quality clients. They know that they have to learn some skills. They know that it's gonna take some time to learn those skills, and then they get the fruits of the labor. And that's what you want, because if you're attracting, like there's thing about broken lazy people. People make content for broken lazy people, and I was saying the other day, but then you're going to attract all these broken lazy people, and if they all message you, say you've got 3,000 people that message you, but they're all broken lazy, then they can't afford your high ticket product. So that means that you're spending a lot of time talking to those people, but they're not the right fit, and they're going to have lots of objections as well.
Well said. It's because if you don't know, if you haven't connected with a person and you're just doing what is commonly called an elevator pitch, and then you don't know how to help them. You don't know what their problem is, then you're just throwing something out there, and it's kind of like throwing, spaghetti or pasta on the wall and seeing if it sticks.
Yeah. And this is it, you need your content as well, it needs to generate conversations, because you can't really find out if you can help someone if you can't generate a conversation. You're literally, like I did, thinking, oh, well, I can just help them if they've got a problem. I can just, and it might not be anything that you can fix. And this is it as well, like when like I call them obviously my philosophy is the anti-hustle strategy. So everything that I do is all anti-hustle, because I would never want to hit burnout again, and I never want any of my clients to hit burnout as well. So when you step away and start being anti-hustle, you enjoy your business more. You can, if someone reaches out to you and they're not a right fit, you're okay to say, I'm really sorry. You can feel good about turning $3,000 down, saying, I can't help you, but so and so can. And that's how you want to feel in your business. And people remember that. Oh God, she didn't even just try and sell me something. She said, I can't help you, but so and so can. So it's about your energy and aligning as well with your authenticity and your morals. And as well, like what I've realized is when you cut all the fat off and you're enjoying the process, this is when you start to find what you're really good at. So a lot of my clients, as they're going through this process and learning these skills, I will say, you're really good at so and so. Have you thought about making your own digital product so you can teach that? So then you're not just relying on selling someone else's product. You're actually tuning into what you're good at and what sets you on your soul on fire, and creating something that it's yours. you know, you've got, that's your baby.
If that sort of content strategy is used by more people online, I think that there would be more successful beginners. I really do, because it's not understanding that concept that sometimes can cause what you mentioned earlier, that burnout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it not only causes frustration for beginners when they're putting out a lot of content, they're not getting any leads, or they don't seem to be getting any comments or anybody sharing their stuff or engagement. That can cause, a burnout. And if if they s- if that content strategy is taught better in the very beginning, I think that burnout would be less and less from people. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. And not just the burnout, but when you start and you think it's, you're gonna earn $10,000 by next week, and you don't. If you've been told that you will, and you really believe that you will, and you're banging that content out, you're adding those people, you're sending those messages, and it doesn't happen, you feel shit about yourself. And I would say that a lot of people have quit before they've really got into the meat of what it takes, and they've gone away and they probably feel really shit about themselves, and they've taken that away without knowing anything different. So not just burnout, but yourself. What's the word? Self. You have to help me out with this one because we've got the word.
It's escaping you right now. That's okay. Yeah, it could be exhausting, emotionally, draining. There are probably other descriptions or adjectives that we can use, but it's something I think that should be taught more frequently, of course. And I know that there are people that I used to see online that I don't anymore. And I don't know. Hi, Jeff. I know that I don't know if it's because they're taking a break or if they've gotten burned out, but I'm sure along your journey, you may have noticed the same thing as well, right?
Yeah.
There are some people that have dropped off.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
I think it's a combination of things. It's a mindset thing. It's the mindset thing is first and foremost. I mean, you talk about giving up. Well, if your mindset isn't calibrated correctly, yeah, you're going to not only reach burnout, you're going to give up because you don't see that that's going to be worth it. It's futile.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to have that mindset that I've got to do some things. I've got to. I mean, this is, it's high income. We're learning high income generating skills. Like, if you went to do you do marketing at uni, or is it sales, something like that? But it'd be a couple of years, wouldn't it?
Awesome. So I really appreciate your candor, and being straight with us, and telling us some of the things that have worked well for you and your content strategy, your social media prowess, so to speak. And and I know that right now, a lot of us see like smiles when we show our photos and stuff, and oftentimes it could be misconstrued as everything is a bowl of cherries and life is always good. But of course, we all know that life isn't always that way. And what are some things that you've done to keep yourself balanced so that you're not too high and not too low? What's that song? Ain't no valley hot, low enough, or yeah, ain't no right.
Don't know word.
That's right.
Sing it, Claire. Keep going. No one's stopping you.
Don't know word.
Ain't no river. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no river low enough, something like that. I don't know. Something like that.
To keep
Yeah.
me coming to you or something.
That's right. That's perfect. Perfect. But we all have those peaks and valleys, right? I mean, it's life. And I've got Jeff and I, we sometimes use our humor. We share things on social media about having switch classes in high school. We talk about pranks that we pulled on each other, and how a prank went wrong where he tried to prank me and the prank got pulled on our mom instead, inadvertently, on accident. And so we share things like that online so that people understand that that we're real, and that we're real people. And there are times where I also share real stuff about myself, where I have anxiety. I have a form of PTSD called hypervigilance. So I also share stuff like that because it's it does make me vulnerable, and being vulnerable is not easy, but again, it's helping people get to know the real me.
Right. I mean,
So
it basically
yeah,
peels back the layers and shows who you really are. And when we peel back the layers and show our true selves, our authenticity, then our our real person resonates with them, and they get to know who we really are. And that know, like, and trust factor, well, that is right there in the forefront,
it's really
more than
important.
any other time.
And we all can improve, myself included. One thing that I'm remarried, Claire, and I've been married longer now with my wife currently than with my previous wife. And my son is 12 years old. And I need to do a better job. It was a stark reminder today that my wife tells more to my son about her dad who passed away, and he calls him grandpa. I don't talk enough about my own parents who have passed away to my own son. And it's a stark reminder, is that my she mentioned that, and it wasn't like a dig on me. It wasn't like she was trying to insult me. She just said it kind of matter of factly, because my son doesn't talk about my parents, but talks about her dad who passed away. And anyway, and so I guess I'm digressing a little bit, but what do you do to keep yourself balanced? Is it mindfulness, or do you listen to a song like we just talked about to keep yourself up? Do you listen to hopefully not too many Carpenters, because they can be sad songs? Or
Yeah, so I'm quite lucky because I don't know if it's my personality or I have ADHD. I'm currently going for a diagnosis for autism. But I'm quite an excited person. So if I feel shit, no one can really tell. So that's quite good. But I have
you mask it?
yeah. But I have started. If something happens, if something shit happens, what will I do? So I'll go to the gym. Might have a bottle of wine, no, I won't really.
That's all right. That's all right.
Bottle of wine, box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that you just mentioned you go to the gym. So I see a lot of video footage of you doing fitness sort of things, or walking the dog, right?
Yeah.
So is that those things are therapeutic for?
Yeah, so I am a gym bunny. I do pole exercise, lift weights, spin. I used to be a fitness instructor when I was at university. I did that just for some extra money. So yeah, I'm an outdoors person. I'm into my fitness, and so that'd be me. You've got to have that balance, and because you can get into a point where especially if business isn't going well, you can get to a point where you think, oh, well, I need to work more, but it's actually, it might be that you need to work less and tune out and just shut your computer down and go and do, and you can still, you can do anything and make content from it. So you're still, you're still gonna have content.
Exactly. And I love seeing people out there, out and about, doing real life things like when you're out walking your dog and you do video footage. I love those sort of things because people really can relate to that, because look, I go out and walk my dog, so I can relate to that sort of.
Yeah, and as well, like just touching up on that subject, and I hear this quite a lot. I go, oh, but I have a really boring life, but the thing is, that's relatable because
come again. I want to hear that again.
Yeah, say that louder. Say it louder for the people in the back.
I have a really boring life.
No, come on.
No.
It's people. We are our own worst critics, Claire, and so I totally understand that. Oftentimes we can think that our lives are boring, but you mentioned it, is that the smallest details, can be exciting to someone else that may not be exciting to you. Like, I was intrigued when you were sharing something about your garden, whereas somebody who's only interested in cars, so to speak, may not have been interested in your garden. You know what I mean? But there are certain things that you can share that may be exciting to someone. You may not even understand it. That's what, to me, gets really fascinating.
Right. So I would say
never know what will inspire somebody.
Right. So there are different layers of content strategy.
Yeah, it's about mixing yourself into your content. Not just business. Like if you're talking about business, talk about your experience. No one's looking for, an expert. People more looking for relatability rather than, I'm going to say a polished turd. That's not the terms, is it? Polished turd.
No, I love it. You're right, though. Always looking. That's a value bomb right there, as we call
Boom! It doesn't need to always be 100% polished.
You don't always need that turd to be polished. You don't always need that pig to have lipstick. You don't.
Did he say he doesn't need the turd to be polished?
Yes, that's what she said.
We're talking about turds.
Yeah, that's what she just said.
Polished.
I'm using her words, but I found it very fitting. Is that you don't?
The turd was fitting. Right. The turd was very fitting.
Yes. We're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about turds. And in case you haven't heard, we're talking about turds.
So, but you're right. Is that no one? I shouldn't say no one, because there may be a small percentage of people that are only looking for perfect people, but most people aren't looking for a totally polished person who's always saying things correctly, perfectly. The relatability is what we're looking for. And you're right. Well said.
Yeah. Because if you say like I posted about planting a tree, right? That might have attracted someone who was like, oh, love that. Oh, that tree's lovely or whatever. They might have just connected with me because I planted a tree. But then my next piece of content might be about what I experienced when I started my business, and then that might be relatable. So it's different types of touch point.
Okay. All right. I like that. And how do you think? How can we, help somebody who maybe has not practiced that before? How can we help somebody or teach somebody that? What have you done for some of your clients to help them understand that concept?
So especially the people who are just starting out, You instruct them, hey, just do some random B-roll footage, right? And implement that. Don't look into the camera. Don't speak in the camera. Just do random B-roll footage. Just normal, everyday things. Washing the car, doing your hair, doing your makeup. What are some of the things that you instruct with your new students?
So, well, with my students, mine are mainly people that are already established in the market. So I don't actually work with, I don't introduce people to organic marketing. I can direct, if someone comes to me, I can direct them to something, but yeah, they're already established. So but people that don't know how to create content around themselves, I would be saying, document everything that you're doing. What are you learning? What did you do that blew up in your face? Tell people about it. Like, for example, I spoke the other week in my group about I was trying to create. I've never done email marketing. I have a list, but never done. No, it's not my thing. I don't even open my own emails, so it's just not. I don't find it sexy. Anyway, but I've started doing it. Literally, I'm on my third email company, whatever you call it. I did System and then Aweber, and now I'm on MailChimp. MailChimp seems to be working.
Okay.
I was like, why can't I do this? And I got honest. I actually went for a walk, right? And I'm like, I'm really shit and this and that and other, and I really spoke to myself like that. And then I was like, wait a minute, you've got to where you are without an email list. So why are you being so negative about yourself? And I spoke about it. And someone said to me in the group, so you've done your 100K year and you don't even have an email list. And I was like, yeah. So share those things because that's relatable. And you know what? There's other people out there that can't set an email thingy up themselves either.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. So, you mentioned before, I'm not tech savvy, right? We could easily get super frustrated. I mean, I literally wasn't doing anything differently when all of a sudden my video just started working and my audio. I don't know what was going wrong. I was trying everything I possibly could to get everything working effectively, but nothing was working, right? So am I just gonna jump up and down, and throw my headset down? So we can get frustrated, or it is our choice, and it is our choice how we react to life and how we react to things that are happening to us. So yeah, that happened. You made all that success without it. You're going to stumble. We're all new to things, and when we're new to things, we have to adjust and overcome our own weaknesses and shortcomings. And that just shows you're human. You're human, you know?
Exactly. Shit happens. It's okay.
And everybody can relate to that, yeah.
Yeah.
So if that's what I would always tell people is, hey, look, you know what? Be 100% authentic and transparent because people are going to relate to that. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't cover it up.
Yeah, you don't sugarcoat it. Don't put extra stuff on it to make you seem as though you're maybe I don't know, a bigger guru than you really are. Because if the thing, Claire, that I like is that you not only shared something that could be viewed as vulnerability, a weakness, but you turned it into something others who may be struggling with email marketing could relate to. And what you shared is actually quite impressive, that you've done so well without it, that for anybody that may not be great at email marketing, they can say to themselves, well, if I'm struggling and she struggled mightily, I can still become successful too because she has done it. and so that could be an inspiration to somebody. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you know what I think a lesson there as well is, don't feel like you've got to do everything. Like,
We don't always have it all together, right?
yeah, we don't have to be on multiple platforms. We don't have to be setting a funnel up and an email and an autoresponder. And I hope I'm getting all the words right because I don't have a clue what they're called, but there's things that I've picked up along the way. But don't think that you've got to do all that. You really don't. Simplicity is key. Do you know what? Look at what you're doing. Look at what lights you up. What do you want to improve on? Do you want to improve on your content? Go spend extra time on your content and learn that. You want to learn how to have conversations? Spend some extra. Send more messages. Just having conversations. Do you know? And yeah, just take it at ease. Don't set, because I know when we come in, we have these unrealistic
Expectations. Yeah.
So set realistic goals. Do you know? You don't set monetary goals. Set skill goals. Set improvement goals. Do you know? And when you do set income goals, make them right. My first goal is to be able to cover my kids' activity clubs each month. I don't even know how much that costs. I hope it ain't a lot, but
Right.
my kids are 20 now. I forgot all that. But goals that bite-sized goals, because
Bite size.
yeah, if you're setting massive goals and you don't, it's like, if you say, right, by June I'm gonna drop a dress size. If it gets to June and you've only dropped half a dress size, are you going to stop doing what you were doing that got you that half a dress size? Absolutely not. You're going to continue.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've never ever set appropriate dress size goals. Never.
I and
I never meet the goal correctly.
well, and not only that, but skirt sizes. I mean, we could go into other clothing, measurements. But the other thing I want to talk about, with all jokes aside, though, Claire, is that I think you're right. Is bite-size goals are very important. I love that, by the way. It's another value bomb. If we can recognize that as a value bomb, it's a very good value bomb. It's a
Highlight
bite-sized value
the small
bomb,
positives in your life. Yeah.
But how often do we not also celebrate the small victories, the small wins? Because our brains aren't we all? I mean, honestly, it's easy for our brains to absorb and focus on negative. It's just how we are.
Yeah.
Like you just said, is that
Human nature.
you can focus on the I didn't, hit that goal about the dress size, and our brain will just focus on that versus having actually went down, but we just didn't hit that goal, right? Instead of focusing on that win, a person may focus on I didn't hit that unattainable goal, right? And it may have been out of reach, and it may have been, I don't know, it may have been something that wasn't realistic, right?
Yeah.
But how important is it that we do focus on those small wins? Isn't that something that we should be doing every day?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people struggle to recognize what those non-monetary wins are, because they're looking at all these screenshots of income and things like that.
Right.
So
we too often compare ourselves to other people who've maybe been in the industry a lot longer, and the circumstances are completely different.
Or sharing, dare I say, payments that aren't real. That I'm just saying, sometimes that happens. Maybe it's photoshopped, or whatever the case may be, where it's not a real payment that they received. And that happens, unfortunately, as well. And and you and I talked about that poster behind you, but the one thing that you don't do all the time, Claire, is and I want to high five you now if I can virtually, is that you don't, boast about all of the, all of your big money gains. You don't, talk about, hey, this month I made 5,000. I mean, and if there is a time where you get that and you share it, it's not all the time because I rarely see it on your social media platforms.
Yeah.
Why would that be important? And what do you teach or coach differently to, that would set you apart from other marketers?
Um.
You're leaving me hanging.
Well,
Yo.
oh, whoa.
Actually, it's funny you should say that because obviously we know that people do post fake income screenshots, and that's one of the reasons that I don't really, now and again, but very rarely I would rather talk about my clients' wins, because it's still social proof that I have clients. So I am doing, I have a business. So
Mhm.
you don't have to share money screenshots just to look.
Boast or brag. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've never had anyone come into my inbox and ask me how much money I'm making. Not even when I was a beginner. Actually, I know that some people say, "Oh, what if they ask how much?" I've never had that, so I don't think them. I think if you can show up as yourself, show people what you're learning, and share your experiences, and then when you've got clients, you can talk about those. I think that's more than enough than the screen.
Sure. No, that's well said. What I've been reading, listening. It's an Audible book. I've been listening to a book. It's by Brendan Kane, Kane, Brendan Kane, and it's called Hook Point. And there's a really good he says something in that book that I'll just say it's a really easy statement. So a quote unquote, the more value you give, the more value you get. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. It rings true to me that if you're providing value with your content, then you're going to get more from other people because you're giving them, a lot that's good, and it's something that's benefiting them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually wrote a piece of content last week about that. How much, should I give away like all my secrets? And yeah, you should, because at the end of the day, when people come into my group, obviously I don't gatekeep on my profile either, but in my group it's more video training and stuff, so you can
Okay.
more depth. So when somebody comes into the group, or even on your profile, if you're sharing and they're hearing things like, oh gosh, never heard that before, never thought that's really good, or you're giving them something that they can take away and implement and get away,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be, if they've taken that and implemented it, they're going to be good quality clients. Because people that don't take that information and that training and go and implement it, it doesn't matter if you give it away, because they're not going to take it away and implement it. You're not like giving
Right.
I invest in myself, but I'm going to give it away for free, because we don't really pay for information. We pay for implementation, someone to guide us to
Right, and I think that's why.
Boom!
Another value bomb. Boom! I can hear the fireworks.
Yeah.
But so what you're saying, in other words, like knowledge isn't power, but applied knowledge is power once you implement it and incorporate it. I so very much agree with you on that point, because no matter and the value that you present people in your videos will make it so they'll continue to come back if they always know they're going to receive value from your videos.
No, well said. There's a difference between giving information and then providing value in regards to something that solves their problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even like, you know, like things that I've learned, I know that I've had to ask my mentor, can you check? I don't know about you, but I've always been like, when I learn something, I'm like, can you check that for me, please? I need someone to say, yeah, you're doing great, just so that I can go, hey, crack on, and I think like, so it's like I know that I've needed to say, that look all right, am I doing okay here? I
Right.
think we all need a bit of that, don't we?
We do. We do.
All right.
Well, Matt, it's been wonderful having you on. I know we've kept you a little while longer. With Jeff coming on and no audio issues, I wanted to have you on a little longer so that we could have Jeff involved. I seriously, I want to give you some mad props. I want to say thank you for coming on because I admire you. I respect you. I honestly think you provide such value. Your content rocks, and you do bring it with energy. You have a great aura, or however you want to say it. There are several different intangibles that charisma, whatever you want to say, you've got it.
Oh, thank you. She's got it. Oh, baby, she's got it.
She's got it. Is that Bananarama?
I don't know. It's off an advert, isn't it? Like she's
Yeah.
got it. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe
We've got it.
Don't get. See, there you go, Claire. You're getting him started.
I can go falsetto.
My goodness. Can I just say, right? Do you know when you invited me on and you sent me times? I thought, oh my God, I'm usually in bed at that time, right? And I literally tried to have an afternoon nap, right? Because my brain don't work after 8 o'clock, right? And honestly, I don't even think I can go to bed. I think I'm gonna have to like put music on.
Right. Yeah. That's what we do. We have fun. We try to keep it light and we try to have
There's gonna be a level of levity, and humor in this.
Because just like with marketing, we just try to be ourselves and we just try to use our own personalities on this, and that's who we are. Is that when Jeff and I get together, live or in person, whatever, that's how we are. And so we just try to act like goofballs because we are goofy, and we're silly.
And by the way, you're great. Like this, I see some of your videos, and you've just got an edge to you. Like you think outside the box. You do put out some great videos, definitely.
Awesome. And I appreciate that. We try to put out good material and we try to be authentic, share stuff about, what's happened in our lives. And, there's Jeff he said something that I wanted to share is there back in the day. I don't know if this was like 7 years ago. I'm trying to remember, but
Would you stop? Stop that.
What are you talking about?
You were talking
when
no one's going to listen to you. You keep switching the videos around. In fact, no one's paying attention to you right now.
Claire, he was doing it. It wasn't me. Now he's blaming it on me.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Right. Yeah. And he could sit there. He could sit there and lie, right? And he's talking about being transparent.
This is not a green screen. This is actually a backdrop.
And that's called diverting the lie.
Yeah, it is. So, but anyway, when Facebook first came out with the face recognition technology, and in the beginning, they used to tag people automatically.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? Yeah, they used to tag people automatically, and they stopped doing that after a while.
Right, it's like a recommendation. Do you want to tag this person? Because I see that they're in your photo.
So there, again, I think it may have been like 7 years ago, Jeff. something like that. But it's been a while.
It was like in 2013, 2014-ish.
Yeah, maybe it was 10 years ago. But there was a time where Facebook tagged Jeff in one of my photos.
It was with your daughter.
Yes, I was with my daughter.
Soraya and Bronco, actually.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was with my son and my daughter in a photo, and they tagged Jeff automatically. Isn't that crazy because we're twins?
I remember actually when I don't know why I connected with first, but I connected with one of you and then another one. And I'm really confused. Like, it was the face and the brown. I didn't remember the first names. It takes me a while with first names. And I'm like, hey, and he just kept confusing me. I'm like, oh my God, you've got a twin! I can't remember I said that too, but it was so funny because the amount of times I was like, hey, like so confusing.
Didn't I talk to him already?
It's a sense of deja vu. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, again, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. We next week we'll be interviewing Liam
Arthur.
Yeah, Liam Arthur, and then the following week Jamie Gardner. So we've got a great September that's kind of coming along for us with our interviews, and
we're just doing it internationally right now. I mean, last week we interviewed Brian James, and he was also in Ireland, right?
He was like a stone's throw away from you or something.
Yeah, and he's been in the space for 2 years. I connected with him, and he said he'd been in the space 2 years. I'm like, how have we not come across each other?
Right. But anyway, thank you again. We really appreciate it. Mad respect. And we will continue to follow you, of course. And hope you have a tremendous weekend. Okay.
You too. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
God bless. Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
I got you. Wow. What a great interview. What a great interview. She's backstage right now, so she can still hear us. But I'm so happy that we.
So in other words, she can hear us talk. She can hear us talking about her right now, right?
Yes, she can. Yes, she can.
Yeah.
And she's a breath of fresh air, so to speak. Just a lot of positivity and a lot of energy, and I love that. I resonate. That resonates with me, and I'm drawn to people like that because that appeals to me when people have that sort of energy.
Yeah, that energy and that vibe, right? Claire she always brings her A game.
Absolutely, it was her A game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
A+.
I've never seen her B game. I don't know if it even exists.
No, I don't think she has a B game. I think it's all A.
There's no B game. What are you talking about?
No, there is no B game. There isn't. I think it's a weird rumor that went around for a while that she had a B game, but no. It's all
don't believe that.
game.
Yeah, that's rubbish.
Yes,
it's rubbish.
It is rubbish. I don't even know if she has Monopoly, but I know that she has an A game. She does have an A game. No Monopoly, maybe Monopoly. I won't say no Monopoly game.
I don't know why you're bringing up Monopoly.
No,
of all the games,
I don't want to bring that up. Because it's a board game, and I don't want to be bored. So we've got September to remember, people. It's going to be a September to remember. All right, we've got today we've had Claire, and she hit a home run. If you haven't listened to this whole thing, watch it from the very beginning. And then next week, Liam Arthur, and the following week we've got Jamie Gardner. So September to remember.
Yeah, they wouldn't hit home runs where they're from, Jared. They would score goals.
Yes, they would. Goal. Football. All right. And that's my son's favorite sport. He follows Barcelona. But anyway, so thanks for joining us, everyone. Comment live like Lambo did, or comment #replay. And please drop us some comments so that we can get this out to more people and inspire people. Thank you so much. Peace. Where's that outro? Holy schmo. Oh, there it is. Boom.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway is